Hi guys, this is role playing assignment number 2, and my name is Jody Gibbs. We are going to go ahead and start with case study number 1 with the Sphere 1 promotions by our scenario. For question 1, in case 1, I think the 3 most important parts for this company is that they are relationship facilitators. So they really care that their customer is getting closer to their client. They just don't want it to be, oh, hey, we're using you for the company. That's it. They're really about building a relationship and getting to know them, what that company needs, what they want. They also like retail relationships, and strategic partnerships. And with this, that means that the company is working to fit the need of what they are. So they are strategic, that it lines up with all their marketing needs. So the signage that is on a napkin or a sign or something is very clear, so they know who they're working with and what companies are being brought in and what who they're working for and things like that. And then they are very, very charitable and work with nonprofit organizations. They're all about getting sponsorships and helping with their clients and things like that. So they want the company to know that they're not paying for it alone, and they're building a relationship, and they help with those types of scenarios. Body language, it seemed to be kind of unclear with some of the words. The assignment seemed confused or unhappy when I didn't quite understand what they were asking. So I definitely asked for them to clarify quite a bit, and you can tell they were kind of getting annoyed a little. However, it is very important to keep eye contact with your client throughout this whole buy-sell partnership. So I definitely asked them to explain the bigger terms, which is extremely helpful when going through this, because I didn't know the word signage or any of that until I read the definition for that. So that's very helpful. For case study number 2, the one about the McLean properties and real estate, the 3 things that are most important to this is they work with big retail chains and big companies. I think this is very beneficial because most people go for the name brand nowadays, and that's kind of helpful knowing other sites that haven't worked with this person before. The selection, they cover everything that company possibly needs, all factors, things that could go into it otherwise, things like that. And they also work with small and local real estate companies, so they stay local, meanwhile hitting a bigger scale as well. They want to understand what their client needs, whether it be large scale or small scale, anything like that. Definitely making sure that the client feels comfortable is one of their main things. However, talking about a lot of their jargon, so this is question number 2, they did not seem negative about anything I had to say. If I needed a question answered because I didn't understand wordage, they were excited. They were very, very outgoing and uplifting about the company. They never had anything negative to say. You could really tell that that company was about helping their employees and their clients with whatever they needed. Making sure that the client felt comfortable was the best thing they could do. I will say that what would be helpful in the future is just kind of clarifying some of the bigger words that your client might not need, breaking it down, getting to know your client, but making sure that they feel welcome, but obviously getting to know the seller. Connecting with your buyer and the seller are really, really important as well. And then case number 3, the paper products manufacturing. I think that the 3 top things that they have going for them is that they're environmentally safe. So they're biodegradable. They help the world. You are getting the best bang for your buck in other terms. It's very functional. They're very, very concerned about the money. What you're paying for is what you're receiving, so they're making sure that everything you're getting is what you're paying for. It's good for the community as well, and everything like that. And they train their clients to sell their products, so their salespeople know what they're talking about, which is extremely important when going and selling a product or representing a company, especially if you don't know what's going on. So you can tell that when I asked them questions about like the chemical names or what biodegradable meant and what really goes on into the company, they were not happy about it. Which I think in their training that should definitely be a part of that whole process. They need to know how to talk to their client. They really didn't give very many context clues when trying to figure out what they were meaning, so I didn't have to ask as many questions, which was kind of a downfall and kind of a turn away. However, one thing that seemed to be a really big problem is that not only their attitudes were bad and they were negative about what I was asking, but they were trying to like sit back in the chair and act like they weren't comfortable with me being there, kind of like I wasn't smart enough to buy their product or something like that, which I think is a huge turn off to begin with. So they definitely need to work on that and build relationships and try to hide their emotions. They definitely seem like because they work and they're the largest producer in the world, they didn't need to build this relationship and they didn't need to care about their client, which is not the case. Every person that you potentially work with goes out and promotes you. Your whole public relation is all word by mouth. So I definitely think they need to work on how they interact with their clients and act like just because they're the biggest producer in the world doesn't mean they're above anybody else.